I am a console gamer, and I have been one since I was 3 years old. I'm also a PC gamer, and have been one since 3 years ago. However, I play both console and PC. How does that make any sense? I've seen a lot of discussion online about consoles and the value they provide, so let's talk about it. My first ever console was the Wii. It was my introduction to video games as a whole. The Wii is a console I still play to this day. When I was younger, I played games on the Wii such as Mario Galaxy, Mario Kart, Super Paper Mario, stuff like that. However, as I got older, I began to play virtual console titles on the Wii. I would try them from time to time, but I found them to be difficult to play. As I played more video games and got better, I was able to actually play these games and beat them, and I found them to be very fun. I remember learning about the 3DS. I was in kindergarten, and a kid brought it for show and tell one day. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen at this point. You can play games on the go, anywhere you want. The 3DS was great. It introduced me to Pokemon and other 3DS titles. It is because of this that I have always been a Nintendo gamer. I like to play a large variety of games, don't get me wrong, but I still play Nintendo games, and I'm a big fan. The first time I've ever been able to play a non-Nintendo game was when Minecraft came out. It was the first thing that blew my mind. It was basically a Lego box turned into a video game. I can do anything. It is an everything game, or as close as you could possibly get to one. This may surprise you, but all three of these experiences relate to PC gaming in a way, and also the reason as to why I own a PC. The very first time I owned a computer was in middle school. I went to private school for elementary school, and I left because my teacher, who taught math and religion, failed math in college and was really bad at teaching it. For those unaware, it is common for schools to give kids computers in school. Public schools give kids Chromebooks that they borrow for the school year. Even now, the private school I went to in high school allows personal computers. Actually, they require it. Anyways, in elementary school, I still did play on a computer from time to time. It was very limited. The only time I would ever get to do so would be in computer class, and kids would show me flash games that I would play, and that's all I really knew at that point. At first, when I got a Chromebook, I was shocked that I was even given a computer in the first place. I've never had one before. Even though I borrowed it, it was cool to have one. And I was even able to take it home with me. The fact that I could just play games in school was the coolest thing to me. At first I played flash games, until I found out that I could play all these virtual console games I played on the Wii on my Chromebook. For those unaware, Chromebooks can't run executable files. The only thing they can do is run websites. The good thing is there are websites where you can play ROMs on the website. Since these websites are not providing the ROMs, the copyright law is different, at least in the Czech Republic. According to the website, I'm not an expert in the law. I played ROMs on RetroArch CZ. Right now, the games that are on Nintendo Switch Online are not on the website, but before then, all the ROMs were available. Now, I'll be honest, in 6th grade, I was a terrible student. I would not pay any attention at all, and I would play games in class all the time. It was only until 7th grade where I became a better student, and I would actually pay attention in class. And I'd make sure all my work was done before I'd actually play a game on the computer I had. And then by the time I got in 8th grade, I kind of grew out of playing games in school. But during that time in 6th and 7th grade, I would play NES games and SNES games. And I even tried playing N64 games, but they ran too slow on the Chromebook I had, and I still tried. I tried to play Majora's Mask, but it would still run really, really slow. Also, playing a N64 game without a controller is a really bad idea. Now, during the summer of 7th grade, I got an NES Mini. While it was cool and all, my dad was disappointed that it didn't have all the games on it. So I decided to see if I could somehow get all the NES games on it. I had a computer after all, and I was able to, but I did have to use my dad's old computer that ran slow, because it had Windows, and I needed to run a program in order to do it. But I was able to get all the NES games on the NES Mini. And this was my first time ever modifying hardware. Now comes the pandemic. It was during the tail end of 8th grade for me. During this time of my life, I was playing a lot of Fortnite. I reached a total of 3,000 hours Now about half of these hours was reached before the pandemic, and a lot of this time was spent playing with friends. I also had a bad habit of staying late into the night before the pandemic came, and when the pandemic was here, I just played more and more until I just couldn't keep up with schoolwork anymore. And here's the crazy thing. I would play Fortnite on a Nintendo Switch. Eventually, when you play a game for that long, especially a game like Fortnite, it gets old fast. I'd really only play with friends. I would still play, but there'd be times where I wanted to play something else. And I was looking for other games to play. And I looked at my Wii, and I thought, wait a minute, I've heard of people botting that thing, let me try. So I found a video on how to do it. Turns out everything I needed was at home. The Chromebook I had an SD card reader. I had a 4GB SD card at home, so I got to work. Now, modifying the Wii taught me a lot. It is embarrassing to admit, but I didn't even know what the root of an SD card meant. While I was following a tutorial, I was confused what that even meant, because I was trying to look and there was no file that said root. What was he talking about? But modifying the Wii allowed me to play Nintendo 64 games at a good frame rate. I had no way to emulate, but I did have real hardware, so I was able to install virtual console titles on my Wii and play games there. This introduced me to games I never played before, such as Paper Mario. I was also able to beat Majora's Mask on my Wii, and I decided to play a randomizer. I was really bad at the time, and also didn't have a tracker, but a few years later it would become a thing I would do every so often. Right now I intend on learning a speedrun so I could have better fundamentals of Majora's Mask, be better at randomizers, and learn all the glitches involved. And one of the cool things of modifying a Wii as well is allowing me to play GameCube games. This was my first time ever getting to play them, as before I never played any, because there wasn't a way to play them. The best part of modifying the Wii was I was able to play Wii games that I lost. I could also play GameCube games. I originally played with the classic controller, but I bought a GameCube controller on eBay so I could play with a better controller. Eventually I got 3 more so I could play games with my family. Even to this day, we're still playing Mario Party from time to time, or other GameCube games. Next up, I modified my 3DS. This time I would need a bigger SD card. Good thing there's a store that's close to my house that sells SD cards. So I ended up buying 2 128GB SD cards, so I'd never run out of space. This ended up being a great thing for me. At first it allowed me to play 3DS games that I never played before, while also having an emulator to play NES and SNES games on my 3DS. When high school came, I went back to private school, so I needed my own personal computer. I got an Apple laptop, which unfortunately could not run AEXE files. At the time, I wanted to play Majora's Mask Randomizer. I needed to borrow my dad's computer to run the application to randomize the game. Worst part about Apple is that there's no USB ports. I did get a USB-C to USB-B, and I also got this thing that allows me to plug an SD card into both USB-C and USB-B. Eventually I learned about dual booting. Basically it's a way to have both Windows and Apple on your computer. When it boots up, you want to pick if you want to boot up Apple or Windows. This finally allowed me to run the program to randomize Majora's Mask, but it also allowed me to run another program. The 3DS also has a virtual console titles, even Game Boy Advance ones. But in order to get the titles for the games you want, you need to run a program. There's a program where you feed it the ROM and it outputs the virtual console title for the 3DS, and then all you have to do is install it. And the best part about this is it lets you play games natively, specifically Game Boy Advance games. This allowed me to play a bunch of Game Boy Advance games, and the best part is that there were no emulator bugs I had to deal with. Before, when I tried using RetroArch on the 3DS for Game Boy Advance games, I would deal with a bunch of emulator bugs. And this allowed me to play games like Advance Wars, Metroid Fusion, and Fire Emblem, just to name a few. Now, since I had a computer that can run things, I can now actually play computer games, not just browser games. Though the only games I could play are ones that are not resource intensive. At the time, I would play Minecraft a lot, but I would play on the Nintendo Switch. I remember during the first year of high school, when lockdowns were still happening, my friend asked me if I wanted to play Minecraft Java with him. I never played a PC game like that, and the thought of playing Minecraft with a keyboard and mouse, to be honest, was intimidating. However, I was able to convince my dad to let me get Minecraft on my computer, and I was able to play with him. And I was also able to find a wireless mouse, so I didn't have to play using a touchpad. Now, even though I did have Minecraft Java, I would still opt to play on my Nintendo Switch, since I used a controller. Also, my friend had a Bedrock Realm that I would play on a lot. However, my brother at the time got a PC for his birthday. One of the things he had was Minecraft Java. He would play it a lot. Eventually he would start telling me that Java was better. Since I didn't play Java that much, I didn't want to believe him. I even found it annoying. Eventually during the summer, my brother introduced me to mods in Minecraft. When I was younger, I would watch people play mods in Minecraft, mainly because it was something I thought I'd never be able to experience. Even though now I have a computer that can run Minecraft, mods were complicated, and could my computer even run them? Well, my brother introduced me to CurseForge. Playing modded Minecraft was super simple. You download a mod pack, which has a collection of mods put together for you already. Me and my brother would play a Galactic Craft pack that my brother made, and we would play it together over the summer. On my own time, I played a mod pack called RAD, Roguelike Adventures and Dungeons. This introduced me to what modded Minecraft had to offer. I was able to play those mods at 30 FPS, which did not bother me because I was happy I was able to play them in the first place. However, as I gotten older, not being able to play certain mod packs bothered me. I didn't want to have to deal with lag anymore. At first I used my brother's PC as he got a new one, but eventually I built my own. As crazy as it sounds, I built my PC for the sole purpose of playing modded Minecraft. I was able to build my PC with only $500, while also using my brother's hard drive in his old PC for my PC. Eventually, I would play other games that were exclusive to PC, but I still use this $500 PC right now as a recording. I still don't emulate video games unless I have to, because I don't have to. I have a Wii and 3DS. I don't have a real reason to have a really good PC for AAA games, because I can just play them on Nintendo Switch. Now I could spend extra money and get a really good PC, but I don't have to. I don't have a reason to. I understand why people play PC games, and I play them myself. But for me, the only reason that I really use a PC is for mods. And the only other benefit for using a PC that I see is graphics. But in order to have good graphics, you have to spend so much money that it's not worth it for me. And even though I play my PC a lot, I still play my consoles too. My point is this: computers do provide a lot of value, but there's still a place for console games. And the biggest barrier to PC games is price. Now you can be like me and build a PC for a cheap price. You'd probably be better off spending $1,000 instead so you could play more games. Now don't get me wrong, I would like to eventually spend a lot of money on a PC and play games with really good graphics, especially Minecraft with shaders, but I'm not dying to do so. In some cases, having a console can provide more value because the frame rate is smooth, and unless you have the best PC possible, a lot of PC ports just aren't that good. Now I should mention that the other really nice benefit of a PC is having multiple monitors. Having a second monitor is a game changer, and I can never go back. Even when I play games, I just use my PC as a second monitor to watch YouTube. Hopefully if you're a PC gamer, you can understand why people still choose to play consoles. Obviously a PC is better if you're willing to spend the money for it, but for people like me, the money's just not worth it. And I also understand that there may be people like me who both play console and PC, and I don't really hear people talk about these people as much. And maybe you listening to this is even able to relate to being intimidated by a keyboard and mouse at first. If you like this video, I'm going to make more like it. Please subscribe.